We've got Matt Malone, internationally famous Matt Malone, although Asetek Man isn't here either, so never seen you in the same room. So if you just give a little introduction about yourselves, that'd be wonderful.
Yep, I'm Matt Malone. I stream iRacing. Not right now, though, so... but yeah, I've been streaming iRacing for over 10 years now, and got on board with Asetek in May, and we've been working together and just been having a blast. I quit my job of over 20 years to do it full time now, so it's been absolute dream.
All right, my name is Andre. I'm relying on him to quit my job that I've had for 25 years. I'm still not there, but yes, I'm the founder of Asetek, and what we actually do for a living, which is not sim racing yet, unfortunately. We make liquid cooling for gaming computers, so that's really our core business. I've been racing myself for many years. And then I guess 4 or 5 years back, I got annoyed enough with my own home simulator that I basically spoke to my team, and we believed we could do it better. Whether we have, I will leave up to you guys, but we are pretty new still. It's 3 years ago we launched our Invicta pedals, first product ever. And the day before yesterday, we launched our Invicta steering wheel. So yeah.
Well, that is the main reason why, what I want to hear anyway, about the new wheel. Can you just give us a little description about it and what makes it special?
Yeah, so there are a lot of really great high-end wheels out on the market now. 2-3 years ago, not so much, but today there are, and compliments to all our colleagues for that. I think what set our steering wheel aside here is, first of all, the business model. Very inspired by the supercar market or the hypercar market. I don't know when you bought your last Pagani, but when you go online and order the new Invicta wheel, I think there's like 51,000 options. So you can pick the handles, the material of the handles, the paddles, the button color, what type of carbon you want. You can do all of that. And then we will actually hand build it for you in Denmark and ship it right to you. There's even my appreciation card with my signature in there. So it's a really hand-built product. Other than that, most of the steering wheels on the market today, they rely on SimHub software. Nothing wrong with that, but many first-time users, they don't have the skill nor the interest to go in and configure their own dash and use this very advanced software. So we have taken the best of both worlds. We have our own 60 Hz high-resolution screen that we developed and integrated into our own software. So you can do all kinds of customization within our software. It's very easy to use. And then on top of that, we also have SimHub support. So we offer what everybody else is offering as well. And then it just looked damn sexy.
Well, we've seen you here at the Expo for the last few years, and I've been watching you for many years. We've become friends over the last 5 years, sure. But how did you two begin the relationship you have currently?
I can take that one, because you probably don't even remember. It's actually fun. We have a TV celebrity in Denmark that's very well known, big followers, and he happened to be sim racing as well, and I happened to know him. And then he said, you know, this Matt Malone guy, he's crazy. He's just like you, Andre. You should hook up with him. And then it was not me personally who did it, but it was actually this guy, Jakob is his name, that set up the introduction. So that's actually how it started.
Well, yeah, and I had an email, and I'm like, somebody trying to send me equipment. I don't want to deal with it. You got to redo your whole rig. And they're like, no, we'll send you out the equipment. You can try it. I'm like, okay, fine. And then I got it all hooked up, and I'm like, wow, there is a difference. And I was just blown away. And when you want to work with a company, you got to believe in the company. And I believe that it's just really high-end stuff. And at my age and the amount of time I've been sim racing, you want the best stuff. And you got to put an exclamation point on the software for this new wheel with the dashes. I think that's very important that you get the dashes right in the software. I think that is one of the biggest points, and it really needs to be driven home, because that is the most important thing for me. Because SimHub, when you open it up, I'm like, I don't know, somebody help me. But the RaceHub software is beautiful. But I just wanted to say back to this.
Well, I'm going to give you the chance to brag here. As a father myself, your lad has had an incredible year. You've bought the car that you've won a championship in this season. So if you want to talk us through the incredible year you've had so far.
Thanks. Yeah. So the LMP car that you see on our booth, It's actually not something we borrowed from someone and put some nice Asetek SimSports stickers on. It is a car we race ourselves, our own engineers, our own employees, and yes, it happens to be my son that's driving it, and of course I'm proud of that. And he's been driving for many years now, been racing for many years. Asetek SimSports is not a racing team, so therefore we do it kind of low key in the sense that we do not go outside Denmark. But we have raced in Denmark this year, won all rounds. All qualifyings, and for those who say, yeah, it's not really that competitive in Denmark, we did 3 new track records this year on the Danish tracks, and as some of you know, there are a few other fast racing drivers from Denmark who's been driving on these tracks traditionally. So we are really happy about that, and our products is really about real racing. It's not about borrowing a race car and putting it on a standoff on a trade show. You see the features, you recognize the features in our software, in our hardware, that you can go and apply from the real race car. So we are racers.
Absolutely. And what about your year, Matt? Obviously, you've just transitioned from having a real job, if you like. Now you're a full-time streamer.
Yeah, I mean, I would always do the dual situation. Sim racing and streaming was always just a side gig, a hobby. And I got to the point where I could turn it into an actual thing, full time. And so with the help of Asetek and with the help of the community, obviously, it all starts from the community. If the community wasn't there for me, then you wouldn't know about me and we wouldn't be working together. So I appreciate the community first and foremost. And now I can play iRacing and sim, it's just streaming full time. I mean, it's absolutely wonderful. We got a good schedule. I'm home with the kids. I absolutely love it. And I look forward to what else we can do as far as in the sim racing world, what it's going to blossom into. Because, I mean, this is the biggest expo so far. We're only 10 years in. It's the early stages.
And we're coming to America next year, and that was yesterday.
That's right.
So, yeah, right in your backyard, and a little bit further away than that. So you've been in sim racing for a very long time, a little bit more recent for you. But how has the landscape changed from when you first got involved to present day?
Well, I think, as I said, it's only 3 years since we entered and launched our first product, and for sure a lot of things have changed already. I would say mainly a lot of new entrants into the space. I would also say price points have been fairly stable in the high end, but I would say in the low end, when we launched our La Prima series, it's a €1,000 bundle or something like that for a steering wheel and a wheelbase and pedals, high quality. That was actually pretty cheap. Nowadays, that's still pretty high end. So for sure, I think what's going on with this market right now, it's becoming much more mainstream. Bigger players are entering, and the prices have been going down for the last 3 years.
How's it changed for you, Matt?
The equipment and the amount of people that are sim racing. I remember on iRacing years ago where you'd be lucky to get into a race with other people. I mean, you'd have to drive like GT3 cars to get 60 people in on a race. And now, any time of day, anything you want, you're joining. It's multiple splits. It's good competition. The more people you have, there's more people that are about your same skill level. So then you're able to race against people closely, more competitively. Because it doesn't matter if you're battling for first or 14th. If you're with someone that's about your same skill level, it's just a blast. So I think with direct drive coming in, and it's mostly the standard now, with all this equipment at varying different price levels, it gets more people in, it's more mainstream, more people onto the Sims, and we can enjoy our hobby even more because it's about the community. You can only hot lap for so long. Eventually you got to race against people, and they need to be there. So it's in that way, it's really blossomed as well.
How do you see the landscape of sim racing currently? What state are we in?
Sorry,
in what state do you think sim racing is in? Is it in a good place?
Yeah, I absolutely believe so. There's a lot of people getting their eyes up to it and are open to it. And, in any tech industry, you have the early adopters, the high-end enthusiasts. Yesterday, I mean, we've only been here for 3 years. Yesterday, one of our customers came with his steering wheel in his back, brought it to me and said, "Hey, Andre, will you sign it and get a picture?" And that was actually quite humbling. I was like, whoa, that's crazy that we have people out there that like us so much that they want my autograph. So that's the high-end space, which is, of course, very rewarding to be a part of, but also very difficult because in the high-end space, people have all kind of wishes and ideas, and you can't meet them all. So that's the high end of the space. In the lower end of the space, I started out on a Logitech wheel myself, and for real racing purposes, went up the stack. And I think it's great that we both have this super high-end racing thing, as well as we have the more mainstream.
Breaking news. Talking about the lower end stuff. Now, we got the Invicta wheel that just released. Everyone loves it. It's beautiful. But what about something lower? There may be something in the works for something lower than the La Prima. Can we share any details about that?
It's a bit late that you basically just announced it.
It's a different side of the scale, different part of the ladder.
What told you that? No, it's right. We have a lot of customers who I would not say they complain that our stuff is too expensive, but it may be not affordable to them. So we have actually been working for quite some time on let's call it a true entry-level series that will be able to compete with the lower-cost guys. You would still see it's an Asetek product. You will still see the ID. You will still feel the quality and all of that. But it will be a significantly lower price point than we are at right now. And then hopefully at launch, it also will have console support. We sent out a stock exchange release last week that we have signed a license agreement. So we will also be available on consoles. And I think on that point, I have a lot of wealthy friends who have supercars and all kind of stuff. They have typically a sim in the garage. And then when their friends get over, they boot up their PC. And then they wait for Windows to update. And then driver 1 is failing, driver 2 is failing, and they get frustrated. So for these guys, console does not necessarily mean low-end hardware. They just want a smooth and easy experience. So I think that will be our spot here, that we will try to introduce, yes, the lower cost series, but also, if at all possible, our current products or current price ranges, that we will also have high-end products for console gamers.
Different. That's huge. That's huge. Let's bang.
So what does the future hold for you then, Matt? Obviously, you've come all the way from America to the Expo, which is awesome to see. But what does the future hold for you? You're in your first year of doing it full time. What we expect to see on the Twitch channel?
More streaming, more racing. Just keep doing what I love, and maybe more events like this. I know there's some stuff in America coming up that you mentioned. But yeah, just doing what I love and doing more of it. I can't get enough.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time, guys. Really do appreciate it. We will be back in about 15 minutes where we will have the F1 Creator Series having their own little podcast here. So that'll be fun.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. That's it.